This is just outside observation, but I'm pretty sure that milk dies at midnight the night before it's supposed to die. I mean, how do they know? Do they just know that it's gonna die on a certain day? Do they activate something within the bottle that makes it die? How do they know that milk will totally, completely expire? How do they know? I wish that I knew. I wish that I knew how they knew. Not that I wish I knew the expiration date because it's written on the bottle. And clearly, it's bad because it smells. How do they make cheese? I wonder if I could use this. You just, like, cheese is moldy milk, right? I think. This sucks. Welcome to day 11 of VEDD. I'm going to do a psychological breakdown of every single Disney movie that involves a prince and a princess. The crux of every Disney movie is about the villains and how they want to frack up the heroes. What I discovered is that each one of the villains suffer from narcissistic personality disorder. Narcissistic personality disorder is a pervasive pattern of grandiosity and fantasy or behavior, need for admiration, a lack of empathy, beginning in early adulthood and present in a very of context. Has a grandiose sense of self-importance, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, requires excessive admiration, and so on. Every villain suffers from a sexual dysfunction or disorder. Ursula is a voyeur. Ursula stalked Ariel for who knows how long, and then took over her voice and assumed a body to marry the person that she loved. Hades suffers from necrophilia. He keeps a pool of dead people in his backyard. Maleficent is definitely a sexual sadist. Notice the bondage of Prince Philip, all the torture devices, and come on, let's be real, only a sadist would keep a dungeon in their basement. Next we have the princesses. Most of them suffer from delusions of grandeur, which is characterized by fantastical beliefs that one is famous, wealthy, or powerful, while the rest suffer from delusions of persecution, which is characterized by a fear of impending harm by another. The princesses are each also comorbid with a different personality disorder. Belle is schizotypal, which is a pervasive pattern of social and interpersonal defects marked by an acute discomfort with and reduced capacity for close relationships. There was an entire song at the beginning of the movie talking about how weird she was. Ariel has histrionic personality disorder, which is a pervasive pattern of excessively emotionally and attention-seeking beginning by the early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts. They're uncomfortable in situations in which they're not the center of attention. They constantly use physical appearance to draw attention to the self. Is suggestible, easily influenced by others or circumstances. And Cinderella has obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, which is a pervasive pattern of preoccupation with orderliness, perfectionism, and mental interpersonal control. They're excessively devoted to work and productivity to the exclusion of leisure activities and friendships. And the mice don't count. Finally, we have the princes, who are usually diagnosable with some kind of paraphilia and an impulse control disorder. Philip and Charming are overly aggressive. They assaulted women, for goodness sakes. I don't care who you are. If you see a girl singing, in the woods or in a well, you do not interrupt her singing. That's emotional abuse. And here's the key to every single Disney prince. Over a period of at least 6 months, recurrent, intense, sexually arousing fantasies, sexual urges, or behaviors involving sexual activity with prepubescent child or children, generally aged 13 or younger, the person has acted upon these sexual urges, or the sexual urges or fantasies cause marked distress or interpersonal difficulty. The person is at least 16 years of age and at least 5 years old in the child or children in Criterion A. That's like every single freaking Disney prince. Textbook pedophilia. Final summation, the Disney princes are in the same category as the villains, as far as paraphilias are concerned. The only difference is that the villains want to frack up the princesses' lives, and the princes want to frack up the princesses. Well, there aren't too many sequels for a reason. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.